there's a lot of controversy these days with PUC being asked to give Sunoco Logistics public utility status on a hazardous liquids materials pipeline project. And the reason they want the public utility status is that with public utility status comes the power of eminent domain, and also skirts the need to abide by the municipal planning codes of a municipality. And so what Pipeline Safety Coalition has said is, well, gee, that's a little bit in conflict with Act 13, with the Supreme Court finding and that overturned the section of Act 13 that eviscerated municipal zoning authority in all things gas and oil pipeline. So
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
okay, so that's, I guess, an issue we'll put on the table for now. The FERC does have the authority to regulate tariffs for hazardous liquids, and because they are able to regulate tariffs for hazardous liquids, and not citing, but because they can regulate tariffs, they are considered to be regulated by FERC. Therefore, since they are regulated by FERC, they do have the ability to ask for public utility status. It's a pretty important distinction there. And then you've got the compressor stations and pump stations. Compressors are natural gas, pump is hazardous liquids, typically every 40 to 100 miles. So if you're thinking about pipelines being underground, remember that you've got those processing plants that we talked about. You've got compressor stations, and this down here is a pump station in southeast Pennsylvania. And those are some of the impacts, that the water pollution being one. And then you've got valves, and the valves are cited by wherever the industry needs to have them for safety regulations. And you've got smart pigs, smart pig launchers and smart pigs. Smart pigs are put into a pipe to run through and determine whether or not there are any corrosive problems, and it's all safety regulated. Then you've got the city gate. The city gate is where the fuel is, the PSI of the fuel is reduced to the PSI down to maybe 3 to be used by the consumers in a city. And that's where the odor mercaptan is added. And then you've got the infrastructure going from the city gate to your house or the hospital or the daycare, whatever. And the siting is done by the utility, and the safety is by PUC. And then, as we've heard before, up in the drilling areas, you've got freshwater pipes and flowback water pipes. They're not regulated for siting or safety at all. So this will be available to you folks, but essentially siting begins with the operators, their general route evaluation and project feasibility analysis. That's before they come knocking at your door. That's before they talk to your planning commission. We would suggest that that a conversation with the planning commission at the very least would be a good idea when an operator is considering a pipeline project in a community. Siting and safety, very confusing. Again, these are some links that you can refer to when you access this presentation. This is basically the cliff notes of how the process works. What I would really want to impart to you is that if it is a FERC process, if it's an interstate and there's a FERC filing, every citizen, every community, every planning commission, county commissioners, legislators should file as an intervener. Filing it as an intervener in a FERC process, simply, it's free. It gives you the right to comment on any of the proceedings, and it gives you the right to be notified of any public filings that are made on a project, so that you have the information you need to know about what's going on in this project, what are the obstacles, what is the process, what stage is the process at. But more important than anything else, this is a quote from Carolyn Elephant, who is an attorney that I met back in 2008 in our battles with Williams Transco. She represented us in that eminent domain case that I told you about. And she states on her website that in 2009, FERC processed 100% of protested projects within 300 days. 97 or 95% within 365 days. This is probably too short a time frame. There's a link to this website down at the bottom of this page. Strongly recommend all communities look at that Protecting Your Rights website. Look at that publication. It's free to anyone who needs it.
It's
Pipeline
available
Safety
at the
Coalition.
League Pipeline site.
It's on the page.
Right, this booklet
Good.
is there.
And we're always happy to help too. Thanks.
Do you want to go for permission?
How are we doing